My name is Joe Duffy and I'm the Programme Leader for Filmmaking at the Manchester School of Art. And I teach mainly in filmmaking, but I'm also a practicing artist and filmmaker as well. The summer project is a short exercise where students individually have to make a 30-second film. And we give them a brief where they can choose one of 3 areas to make a film about. One of them is to choose a poem by poet Pablo Neruda. Another one is to concentrate on the Gabriel Marquez book, 100 Years of Solitude. And the other one is on Dan Brown's Inferno. So there's a kind of range really of different literature, and it's up to them how they interpret that film basically. So that's given to students over the summer. So once candidates have selected our programme, then the programme office sends out the brief to students, and during the induction week is the time when we actually get to view those pieces of work. The reason that we give the brief out in the first place is so that students become more aware of the type of course that we are, which is a creative filmmaking course. They're also problem solving straight away because we're giving them a problem, i.e. make us a film. So it's their problem to then resource how they're going to make that film, what equipment they're going to use to make the film, how they're going to edit that film. And it sends a message out that if you want to make a film, you can do it on your phone, which is quite often what the students do for that particular first project. Or you can find another method of making a film. But what we want to see is ideas and creativity. So that 30-second burst of energy that responds to that brief is about seeing how imaginative the students are, how creative they are, how independent they are in terms of making that piece of work. And the point of actually having it as a screening is so that all of the students in the first year get to see each other's work as well. And it's a more informal setting, so although there are questions given out to the students about their work, it's more about the students beginning to engage with each other and beginning to be a little bit more critical about filmmaking. But also as part of that, students begin to be a little more competitive with each other as well, to see the creativity in their year group and also to begin to share ideas as well. What the course gains, first of all, is that we're promoting our ethos through that summer brief, which is about independent study and practice. And it's also giving the students the opportunity to begin to develop their independent study before they even get here as well. So working independently on a brief, without a team, without tutorial support or a dependency on tutorial support. So it's very much self-directed practice is one of the things that we're promoting as part of our ethos. And it's preparing the students for higher education study as well in terms of that independence. And the main focus really is that sense of community where students come together to share their practice and begin to discuss and begin to form this first year cohort really. So it begins to break down some of those barriers, and sometimes that first project can leave an impression as well. So even throughout the year they might refer back to that. The first time they actually talked about their film to someone else. It could be in some cases the first time where they've actually presented a piece of work in front of a large number of people, which in itself is quite intimidating. But it's about trying to make it quite informal as well, so that those barriers in that sense are removed also. Every year we change it slightly. So we go back to some of the poets and the literature. And we see, what else we can put in there or how we can change it. And we give them literature based so they can interpret that, because a lot of the times, particularly working in film, if you're working with a script, you have to interpret that script, or you have to communicate that in a different format, really, from the written form. So a lot of it relies on the imagination, but it also requires a lot of reading. And part of the focus of that exercise is about students having to go and actually source material and read it. What that exercise actually informed us was that a lot of students weren't even reading the text, they were reading Wikipedia versions. And that gives us an insight of where they are educationally and what work we need to do within our course to ensure that they don't surface read, but they actually begin to read in depth as well. So although it's an exciting little exercise, there are kind of wider ramifications around students' engagement with learning and in-depth kind of research as well.
Thank you for watching this Good Practice Exchange film. You can find lots more teaching ideas and resources on our website.